is yours. You must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New Brake Best Select Pro. Professional grade brake pads and rotors from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate. The best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's The Gambler.
Back goes Jones. Pumps, looks, fires. It is deflected and intercepted. Running along the near sideline. It's Darius Slay. Breaks a tackle at the 30, 20, 10, 5, pick 6. Darius Slay.
Always remember, good teams win, but great teams cover. The Eagles opened up the season with a victory on the road in Week 1.
And they are fortunate to come away with this win because they almost let it get away.
Tonight, the Birds return to the nest and kick off the home opener versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Hurts keeps around the edge and bends it back down, fighting for the end zone. What a run! Touchdown, Philadelphia.
The Countdown to Kickoff show, powered by myphilly.house, starts right now.
Here live from outside McGillicuddy's right here and beautiful Manioc right off the strip of Main Street. This is Fox Sports Radio The Gambler. We are here with our friends from myphilly.house, our home away from home, every football Friday. But we got ourselves a special edition as tonight is a Thursday night primetime home opener for the Philadelphia Eagles. I am Sean Brace, as always, joined by John Jansen. John, here we go, baby.
Go Birds!
It's as simple as that, right? That's it. We'll see you. Good night, everybody.
That's it. Thank you.
We got a lot of people down here. It's going to be a great time this evening. This is the place to be, of course. Everybody wants to be down at the stadiums, but bottom line is if you're a little, reluctant to make that trip down, I heard traffic's extremely bad. This is the place to be. Manioc. We got some giveaways, Wrestlemania tickets, Eagles tickets, Eagles gear, not Eagles tickets. Let me back that up. Excuse me. But this is the place to be this evening to catch tonight. Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. All right, John, let's get right to it because, once again, this game is coming up fast and furious at about 8:20 kick, I believe it is, on a Thursday night. It's the first primetime Thursday night game. Of course, we open up Thursday night with the home opener. This is the first Amazon game. Excuse me. There you go, the Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so the first Al Michaels game, right? Al Michaels got to knock the rust off a little bit.
I don't think
Al
Michaels will be bored of this game.
You don't think so?
No.
Where do you think he's betting, on Eagles or Vikings?
I'm feeling.
Think he's got the 6 or the 7?
Well, Al is not a dummy. He's been around the block for a long time.
He's got the 7, right?
I think he is. I think he's riding with the Birds. That's number one. But number two is, look, any way you look at this game, I first of all, let's go ahead and poll the people. Is there anyone that doesn't think that this game is going to be a lot of points, right? Is there anyone betting the under tonight? Let's ask that question. Who wants to bet the under? All the injuries on both sides, it's just playing out. And again, I know this game isn't played on paper, but you have to feel like with all the injuries on both sides, and they're so important, whether we're talking about the linebacker position with the Eagles, whether we're talking about the secondary with the Eagles, Bradbury out, a hell of a season last year, and he's not going to play here. Or on the flip side, the center from the Minnesota Vikings, and guess what? Jalen Carter wreaked havoc last week against the Patriots.
And not just Carter. All of them. Milton Williams, Jordan Davis. That's actually the one I'm most excited about. While everybody's on Jalen Carter, forget about that. Look at Jordan Davis. Maybe he can get a sack today. He had a forced fumble in week 1.
That's a good call.
I think Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox has I forget what injury. I think it might be rib injuries as well. But I know he's questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. But even if he does, Jordan Davis is going to get a bunch of snaps tonight. I think Davis is the guy that we can look at, not only for sacks, if you want to look at tackles, maybe tackle for losses if there's anything there. But Jordan Davis is one I'd be looking at.
Yeah, a couple sacks right here as far as player options, whether we're talking about on DraftKings Sportsbook in front of me here. As far as the markets are concerned, I'm only seeing Hunter, Hassan Reddick, Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat. Those are the only 4 options at this point in time. So maybe DraftKings will add a couple because I would be interested to hear what Jordan Davis's number is.
I would be too.
Yeah, definitely would.
He's going to get some more snaps in this game. I know that for sure.
All right, a lot of people here. Love to get you to follow us on The Gambler, all things social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, at Threads. Anyone still doing Threads?
Nope.
Shout out to the men in blue. Thank you very much, police officers. You guys are the best. At Fox PHL Gambler, at Fox PHL Gambler on socials. Give us a follow. Let us know your thoughts for tonight's game. All right, first thing that I'm curious about, and I want to know your thoughts on this as far as the game this evening. What will the running back rotation be? With Gainwell out, and my goodness, what did he have? 15 carries last week? It was something like 18 out of 22
I think he had 14
touches.
for 55.
I mean, it was just nothing but Gainwell to start, and it wasn't too much of a shock to the system from what we heard in the offseason and in training camp that Gainwell was going to very well be the number 1 bell cow back, for lack of a better term. But tonight, no Gainwell. Who steps in? I know the boys in front of me believe Swift is the guy. I don't know if it's that easy. Right? You tell me, is Penny the better running back on this team? Just skill level.
Well, I think
fully healthy is Penny the better running back.
In terms of the best pure rusher, it's Rashad Penny, and I think he's better than Gainwell. I can't believe Gainwell got as many touches as he did. I guess familiarity with the offense, but still, your 2 best running backs are Swift and Penny. I think Swift's going to get involved in the passing game. And if it becomes more of a passing game in general, Hurts is dropping back 30, 40 times, it's probably going to be Swift on the field more. But on the field more doesn't necessarily mean I think he gets the best touches. The best touches might come from Penny when they get into the goal line, those RPO and especially read options with Jalen Hurts in the red zone. Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns last year in this game, so that's something I would be looking at. I know it's not even money.
Off.
It's minus 150. Hurts went off
Hurts
last year.
threw for over 300 yards.
And I expect the same thing, though, but I expect that to be different. The Patriots' defensive line is good, and especially their front 7. But now the Eagles' offensive line is a huge advantage in this game.
Yep.
The Vikings' front isn't good, especially at rush defense. I think it's more Penny. I think it's more up front. You get the beef up front. We got our boy Corey. We got beef. You get the beef up front working. I think they end up running the ball a lot, and I think Penny would get more of those touches. But overall, I think more on the field, more snaps is probably going to be Swift.
All right. Jalen Hurts last week was plus 125 anytime touchdown. That thing was about as sure as a bet that you can make last season. Didn't hit, obviously, last week against the Patriots. Right back here.
I think a better play this week.
Minus 115. I think the odds makers are right there with you on that one, right? And
again, because Minnesota's front 7, especially their defensive line, they're going to get bullied by the Eagles up front. It happened last year. Actually, one of my favorite bets for the first drive, the Eagles' first drive, for them to get a first touchdown.
That's a total degen move.
It is.
The first drive.
But a rush touchdown in the first drive is plus 450. So it doesn't have to be first drive of the game, first touchdown of the game. But the first drive for the Eagles ending in a rushing touchdown plus 450. I think they're going to run right through them early on. That's the type of game plan. Look, maybe a couple passes early to Dallas Goedert to get him involved because he wasn't, but it's going to be a running game. They're going to get involved early, and I think it's going to probably be in the first quarter, first drive, you end up seeing a rushing.
But we also have to be realistic, right? Our bias is showing. It's the home opener all day.
Not biased at all.
But no, because you have to, right? Last week against the Patriots, the offensive line didn't look like last year's offensive line. Are you going to attribute
that? But the Vikings' defensive line isn't the Patriots' defensive line. Again, it was very unique, the things that Patriots could do that not many teams can. The Patriots are great up front at disguising blitzes. They're very good at things like stunts. They're very good up front, and if your communication's not good, you're going to suffer. And it's week 1 against Belichick, and he gave him a lot of different looks, and they weren't ready for it. Minnesota's not going to do any of that. Brian Flores, I don't think was great. He's the defensive coordinator now for Minnesota.
Blitzed a ton last week.
Blitzed a ton, but I don't think it necessarily worked. I think a lot of the problems was just Baker Mayfield. I think the Eagles' offensive line is going to be the best part of this game. And if that's the case, give it to running backs and also the anytime for her.
It's week 2, right? So we still got a lot to learn about every team, right? We struggle with this throughout the course of the offseason. You think, and you got to carry what you've been believing all off season long into week 1, right? And a lot of it has played out the way we thought it would, like the Cowboys winning, the Giants being terrible, right? The Jags, we discussed, we love the Jags. I think everybody loves the Jags this year. The Detroit Lions are going to give the Chiefs fits. All that played out. But now here we are in week 2, and I feel like the overreaction just might be a little bit much on some of these games, not specifically the Eagles and Vikings, but
it could be a little bit.
I think you can look at certain spots in the game and make that case. But we'll see. Again, I hate to play that card, but it's all I have because I thought all along coming into this season that the offensive line was going to kick butt and take names. Again, you give Bill Belichick 4 months to prepare for you.
And how physical their defensive line is in New England. It's good. They have a good defensive line. Not many good like wide receivers, skill position players, but on defense and especially up front, they're good.
All right. Anytime touchdowns, of course, everybody loves that market. Gentleman over here said Devonta Smith. Anytime touchdown, of course, he scored a touchdown for the Birds on the offense last week. Right here on DraftKings Sportsbook, plus 150. The gentleman had plus 165, if I'm not mistaken. So that number has dropped down a couple pegs there. But plus 150 for Devonta. I'm more in the camp for A.J. Brown. Pick a wide receiver tonight as the train's going over. I love that, Septa. If I had to –
shout out, Septa.
There you go. If I had to pick a wide receiver this evening, I just feel like A.J. Brown is that guy. And I wouldn't be shocked if A.J. Brown had a catch for 65-yard touchdown, like some bomb. Last week, their longest play in offense was like 22, 23 yards.
Yeah, no throw over 20 air yards. That was completed.
Correct. They had the one that was out of bounds for AJ. I feel like tonight, Jalen's going to feed AJ. It's a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous night here in the Delaware Valley. 75 and sunny all throughout the course of the day. Sun going down. I feel like the link is going to be on fire, and they're going to take some shots tonight. A.J. Brown is that guy.
But that's a difference, though. That's something that I think needs to be taken into account. The Eagles do play well at home, and they were great at home last year, the home opener, 24-7. Minnesota had no chance. Justin Jefferson wasn't involved in the game. He couldn't get anything going. So while the Eagles in week 1 in New England against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, while Tom Brady's getting, I don't even know what. I don't even know what that whole ceremony was for, other than we love you, Brady.
Celebrating.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But it's a different spot now that the Eagles are in the home opener.
Yep.
The juices are going. I can't see the Eagles coming out flat in this game. And maybe, again, probably some deep passes. I think more Goddard in this game. I'm on.
Everybody loves the tight ends both ways. Tight ends both
TJ
ways.
too.
Everybody loves the tight end play. Now, that's one of the contrarian takes that I have this evening. And it's not so much that I would play against Hockenson or take an under, but I'm not believing what people are selling me and the number, the market. I mean, my goodness, it was, Hockenson has gone up to here. I'll dig it up right now. As far as
he's been bet a lot.
Oh, he's been pounded.
I'd probably say, the biggest bets I would say have been on some of the Eagles running backs like Swift and Penny and also TJ.
So the yards have come. All right, the yards are a little bit back down to earth. 48.5 at minus 105. I'm not hating on that, but receptions. The receptions for Hockenson, I think there were 4.5, and it got as high as like minus 195 2 nights ago. Just like, all right, everyone's got to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, and
I think but do we really know how this?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how the Eagles are going to use Slay. If he's just going to shadow Justin Jefferson. If not, I imagine Minnesota early on is going to be looking at Joby over and over and over again. And somebody mentioned a Joby interception.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that because they were going to try and pepper him. And if he ends up with Kirk Cousins at bad pass, I could see Joby with an interception. And he looked good in the preseason and training camp. Obviously it's different when you're playing Addison and Justin Jefferson. I think a really good wide receiving group. But I think Joby's going to get a chance here. But yeah, they're going to pepper him. And I'm interested to see how they do that. If they use a lot of bracket coverages, if they're going to go man, how they end up doing it, and if they blitz it all. Because Tampa Bay got home a lot. Antoine Winfield Jr., if I would have to look at any player to see if they would be involved more, what is Sidney Brown's role going to be? Because he has to play. It's not just going to be Justin Evans and Terrell Edmonds. Yeah. It's going to be Sidney Brown, and we saw him a lot move up into the box. Is he going to be blitzing a lot? Is he going to play that Winfield role? I think it could be similar.
And he could be a little too over-aggressive.
It could be. Yep.
And get burned for a deep pass.
But I think you could take those chances in that.
As I'm watching Brandon Graham slam a Stateside. You boys have a Stateside sponsorship? You guys sponsored by Stateside. You like it, huh?
Table full of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice. I like that. Nice work there. Beautiful. Statesides taste good, that's for sure. We are live here on Manny right outside McGillicuddy's. Shout out to our good friend Tim and Ditz rolling out the red carpet for us. Randy, who I've been working with for a long time, man. These guys are the best. And, of course,
A lot of Kelly Green out there.
Oh, the Kelly Green. They should just go ahead and change the jerseys.
Might as well.
Right? Who's wearing, midnight anymore? I mean, I will.
Why'd you have to down midnight like that? You can't.
Everybody's rocking Kelly Green.
I know. I love Kelly Green, but you can't just knock midnight green. Put it down.
Could you imagine what the link looks like tonight with all those knockoff Kelly Green jerseys, like a flea market inside there? That's all right. We're all fired up. Birds home opener tonight. Once again, DraftKings Sportsbook going down here. 6-point spread. Again, this number was dancing as high as 8. Minnesota +8. I know that there were some people that jumped on that a couple nights ago, but we're now back down to 6. And all I'm going to say about that is in my opinion, yeah, people were buying in, believing that Minnesota would have a bounce back spot here after losing that opener, but maybe the performance against the Patriots left a little lackluster taste in a lot of people's mouth.
I think it's a couple of things. It's that, but also Minnesota threw the ball well. They had 344 yards passing. They were good, but it's turnovers. They had 2 fumbles and an interception. So I think what always happens is the turnover variance. Oh, well, Minnesota's not going to turn the ball over the entire time. Oh, and Mac Jones had 300 yards. So, the Eagles secondary isn't good, and Minnesota just threw for a bunch of yards, and Minnesota's going to be fine. But why can't Kirk Cousins turn the ball over again? It's not like, so the thing is, the Eagles have played clean all of last year and even clean against New England. If they play clean, I think Kirk Cousins gives you a couple of picks or at least a fumble, and you probably end up getting good field position, probably end up getting some easy scores. So I'm not into all of that. I'm not into the turnover variance just happening differently week to week. Some guys are just more turnover prone than others.
Yep.
And Kirk Cousins is more turnover prone than Jalen Hurts. And so I think, and the Eagles are opportunistic too. They can create turnover.
Even with the fact that they're going to be missing some important bodies here. Reed Blankenship has played very well.
Help. Yeah.
How about you know that he took over the play calling duties?
Yes, he did. He took the green dot. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It's weird for a safety to do that. Not many times.
Well, I mean, especially with his background too.
Yeah.
Right. There's zero expectations with him.
Oh, none.
I love it. We got Mike Powers and company, of course, Ty kicking butt and taking names. It's Give Us a Shot Network doing big things. We are streaming live right here as we got the YouTube camera in front of us at Fox PHL Gambler. Love to get everybody involved. Please, anything you guys got on your mind, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram, we're checking both at Fox PHL Gambler. And if you don't mind, share the link with the live feed. All right, let's keep it moving. And I know we hit on it just a little bit, but I want to return to it. I want to ask you this question because with the injuries, I feel like the slot is something that's going to plague the Eagles here. And Jordan Addison's a beast. Had a big time week 1.
Well, Justin Jefferson's only a slot receiver. So.
Yeah. Ouch. That stings.
Too soon?
That really stings. Dude, we're going to take that one to our grave. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we will.
Is Rager even in the NFL?
I have no idea.
Up?
No, I know we got
Jalen Rager on a practice squad. Is he on the Patriots practice squad?
The Patriots will pick up anyone.
That's right. Yeah. Well, first round pick.
Devontae Parker re-signed a contract with the Patriots. They will sign anybody.
So I'm looking at Jordan Addison and 42.5. If I'm doing a same game parlay, it has to be in there. At 60+ yards week 1, we know what his skill level is. And again, just with the beat up secondary that the Eagles are bringing and the linebacker position, if you got somebody in the slot, they can attack that area there. So, and I'm not even locking that in to the point that he's the only one that's going to be playing slot because I think it'd be
they'll move all.
It would be malpractice if the offense coordinator of the Vikings
KJ Osborne's going to get some of those routes too. I think the guy that works the middle of the field most, I would say, is Justin Jefferson. So Justin Jefferson, definitely to me, I think he could have a big game.
Is it automatic that you have to play Justin Jefferson?
Whatever his props looking like. I haven't even checked because I know they're going to be inflated to a crazy.
It's got to be juiced to the gills here.
You would imagine after last year's game that he would want to come out and have a big performance in Lincoln Financial Field. I mean, he got blanked pretty much by Darius Slay. He looked bad.
Slay
was frustrated. He was terrible.
Slay was all over him. All right, so some Justin Jefferson props in front of me on DraftKings Sportsbook, and then I want to come back to a general football question that I threw out on the timeline a little earlier today, having some fun with the people. Justin Jefferson, 94.5. Did he go over that number? He had 90 for week 1?
Week 1, he had 138, I think, in the first half.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, way off on that one. Anyways, yeah, because it was ridiculous. 159 grabs there. All right, So Justin Jefferson right now, and you're saying you like this 94.5.
I do. I think he works all parts of the field. The middle of the field is a spot that he works a lot. He's not just a deep field threat. He's great in some of those flat drag routes, but also, again, in the middle of the field, he works pretty well.
So that is yards, and then with receptions, Justin Jefferson is holding steady at 7.5 on plus money, plus 5.
I don't know if I like that one as much. I don't know if I don't know if he's going to get targeted enough. Well, he'll get targeted enough, but I don't know if he's going to capitalize on those targets enough to get that. That's a very close number, but I think he's going to have over 100 yards.
So if I made you make a selection on the Minnesota Vikings, one player that you're going to fire on, who you think?
I guess it would be Jefferson. I know that's the easy one to take, but I think he gets over 100 yards easily in this game. The other one would be, look at KJ Osborne, because KJ Osborne got a ton of routes last week.
3.5 catches.
I don't know why he does, because he gets some snaps and reps over Jordan Addison, which I kind of don't get, because Addison's just a much better receiver. Kind of the same way where I don't get Kenny Gainwell's getting more touches than guys like DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. But Osborne's just one of those guys they really like, and he gets on the field a bunch. So I think Osborne, I know some of his props are going to be a little low. But yeah, look, Kirk Cousins probably going to get over 300 yards in this game. We know the Eagles have some problems in the middle of the field. It's going to be a problem down the field too because of the safety help probably not being good. But I think any of those wide receivers, lock in on one or two of them. But Jefferson to me is.
Obviously, it wasn't the fact was you had to play him here. Rashad Penny is active, and actives just came out right now. No surprises there. Bradbury, Gainwell, Blankenship, everything was announced earlier. Covey and the spots up all for the punting, and there's no surprise as far as those are concerned. So, again, when it comes down to the big question, which we were asked 100 times this week, what do you think the running back rotation will be? As much as I want to believe DeAndre Swift is going to get the rock running the football, I think he's more of a weapon catching the ball, and I think that's how they view him. Again, out with the wide receivers, multiple times this training camp, and I don't know too many backs, quote unquote backs, that have done that before, right? Like I know that there's been a plenty of talented backs that have caught the rock out of the backfield.
You've seen a few of them,
specifically working out with the wide receivers. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of his best strengths, I would say, that makes him a great back. That's how I think he'll be used. So it's all going to depend on how the game script goes. If Minnesota is scoring a lot of points early, then I imagine they will have to throw the ball more, and he will get involved and probably be on the field more than Penny. But if it also goes, a couple of early scores, and I think they want to run the ball more, which, again, I think that's the difference. New England, they probably weren't going to run the ball that much. It was only 14 carries to Gainwell. They knew they were probably going to have to air it out, short passing game that was going to work. And they ended up inactive. So I think this is different. I think they get to run the ball more in this game, and Penny probably becomes a bigger asset in this one.
Come on, Timmy, step up to the mic. I want to get your thoughts. McGillicuddy's Timmy over here. Love it. All right. Look, from the running back situation, we haven't even discussed it. There's nothing there on the flip side with Alexander Madison, 48.5 his rushing yards. We're not believers in the Minnesota Vikings getting off running the football.
No, I don't think so, because the linebacker problem, I think, is more in the passing game than it is the running
Correct.
game. Because last year, interior defensive line wasn't good at stopping the run. Different ball game this year. Jordan Davis is great. And I think even Jalen Carter was pretty good, too. I remember looking at his rush defense on the PFF grade. He actually graded out pretty well for rush defense. The Eagles' rush defense was pretty good, and I expect the same.
Well, on the flip side with the Birds, Rashad Penny, 31.5 yards. That's got to be a play. It has to be a play. Why not? Other than the fact that we don't.
Other than the fact that we
don't know what he actually looks like in an Eagles uniform, but you were Mr. Penny. You were buying all the Penny stocks.
By the way, Penny should have been in over Boston Scott. I don't get that. I don't get any scenario, any situation where you have to have Boston Scott over Rashad Penny. Have your best players out there. I don't care what you think the game plan is going to be. I don't care how you think the game script is going to go. And he's got to be active over Boston Scott. Boston Scott not a good enough player to be getting snaps, reps, anything over Penny. It's just not good enough.
All right. We debuted here you go, Ryan, right here. Yeah. We debuted episode 1 with my guy Beef up on. Ryan Coyle is going to join us as we're live here on Main Street Mania right outside from my Philly.house. Ryan, good evening, sir. Thanks for coming down.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Excited for tonight.
Do you even like beef?
35 on socials. Beef up front, man. I'll tell you what, that was a great listen. I was catching it on the way down here. I know I'm a part of the show. My man knows a lot about some college football. And of course, NFL. What a team here. You know what we had to say. From the running back position, we'll start there. Penny, we don't know what he looks like in Eagles uniform, but well worth the play at 31.5.
It's they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to want to establish that at the beginning. But like we saw last week, being inactive, you really keeps that off the rip for him to kind of be the guy because it's too much of a wait and see. I think it was with Sirianni with the press conference this week, where after Sunday's game, the emphasis on Swift and Goddard getting the ball.
Yeah.
We were going to kind of see those guys at least at the beginning with those like first 15 scripted plays.
You're believing the overcorrection, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we made an error.
That is an error, too. It's a giant error.
If he's not open, is it really an error for you?
Yeah.
You didn't force it to Dallas Goddard? I like, is he Travis Kelce? I didn't realize we had Travis
He's one
Kelce.
of the top 5 tight ends
I
in
know
the
we
league.
got Jason Kelce, but I didn't realize Dallas Goddard was Travis Kelce.
You hear about Travis Kelce, by the way? He catches on and off the field.
There's no way that's true.
It has to be true. I think it's true.
My wife would tell
Can
you.
you
that,
imagine what that'd do for their podcast?
Or when T Swift shows up to the OD next summer.
dude, shut
Listening
it,
to Gypsy Wisdom on
shut it
Thursday night.
down. Shut it down. First of all, the bank account alone.
Oh, geez.
Travis Kelce's well underpaid at the tight end position in the NFL. Taylor Swift.
That'd be a Giselle Tom Brady
She
situation.
makes
Yeah.
what Travis Kelce makes
Yeah.
like in his career in like one stop in Philly. Well, whatever.
Kylie's better.
It has nothing
Whatever.
to do with me, anyways. All right, let's get back to the game here. Let's talk about the wide receiver position. If I made you pick between AJ or Devonta tonight, bigger game. Let's just talk about yards here. Where are you going?
I think AJ. I think he's the guaranteed target guy. Each week it could be a different guy on this offense. That's the beauty of it. But I think AJ, what we saw last week, he's going to be the guy. But I'm not ruling out Quez tonight. He had that big touchdown last year versus the Vikings. Kind of looked to bust something open deep. They didn't take many shots on the field last week. It could be one of those things where primetime home game, let's get the crowd into it early. Quez maybe with a long shot touchdown.
13.5 as far as yards are concerned for Quez.
It's only going to take one for Quez to get over that.
Yeah, I was going to say one catch there. 1.5 catches minus 115. Anytime touchdown for Quez here. Let me dig that up on DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you just brace the promo code. Let them know you're listening for the gambler. Quez Watkins, anytime touchdown. It's got to be a nice.
Going to be down the board.
Yeah, it's got to be a nice payday. Plus 370 AT touchdown. KJ Osborne on the flip side, plus 275. Those got similar ballpark. But KJ gets a little bit more. All right, back over to the Vikings wide receivers. I can't say Justin Jefferson or Jordan.
I know. It
Addison.
felt like I was cheating saying Justin Jefferson's going to be the one that gets over his prop.
But I'll just simply ask you this: Jordan Addison, do you see value in that play?
Yeah, for sure. But I did move Jefferson to 100 plus yards. That was at plus like 120.
Nice.
So I mean, he's going to get that targets. Like, what was it, 138 last week at the half or something like that?
Yeah.
But I think they know we got guys down in the secondary. Their offensive line's not that strong right now, especially with Bradbury out. I think they're going to look to try and push the ball a little bit downfield. Alexander Madison might not be getting the amount of touches that he'll normally get throughout the season. But I do expect them to kind of throw the ball around the yard and try to exploit those mismatches that they might have.
All right, Beef. We're up against it here. 2 more minutes on the air, on the Gambler. Let's get your thoughts. Final score. Where do you stand?
A lot of beef on the Gambler today.
Beef.
I'm going 35-20. I think they don't come out
Hurts
flat at all.
roll.
I think Hurts kind of heard the noise all week and wants to respond to that.
Anytime touchdown, Hurts.
My parlay of the night is Hurts, DeAndre Swift, and Dallas Goddard for the touchdown.
All touchdowns.
That was my bonus bet. I had in the DraftKings.
What's the
account.
odds? Give me the odds.
I had a super one with just Goddard and Swift. That was plus 700. So this one's probably.
Does the old man sign off on this?
Yeah.
All right, good. He gives you the sign of. Nice work there. Ryan Coyle, 35, as always, man, on socials, and Beef Up Front, college football podcast you can hear on The Gambler. We're talking all things college football all season long. You are the man there. Back over to Tim from McGillicuddy's. Randy, of course, the people inside, Ditz, everybody. Can't thank you guys enough for rolling out the red carpet for The Gambler. We're going to keep the party going, music happening. Birds are kicking off here.
Give me a score, Bryce. Give me a score. I'm going 28-20, 31-20, either one. Birds cover, Birds win. Kirk Cousins, couple picks. Actually, you know what? I'll love it when the Vikings are driving down the field. They'll have a chance to tie it up, and Kirk Cousins throws a pick.
Who's rocking 7 here? What 7 jersey we got? You guys aren't going to like this one, Alex and Vic. You guys aren't going to like this one. I took the points with the Vikings plus 7.5 earlier this week. Yeah, you won't like that. Again, week 2, I want to believe that this team is just going to hit the gas pedal. And what we saw last week was a combination of rust / Bill Belichick for 4 months planning. But I just don't think it's that easy. I really do feel like the offensive line isn't going to be as strong as what we'll see at the end of the season. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to move the football as they did last week. But I do believe points, and I also do think if you guys and gals out there are going to fire, tonight's the night to do so. I think we see a lot of points, a lot of yards, and a lot of prop bets going over. So good luck to everybody. Once again, I use DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you use Brace as the promo code. Once again, shout out to our friends from MyPhilly.house for teaming up all season long. Football Fridays. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be live on Main Street, Manayunk from MyPhilly.house. The real estate agents that get the job done. Joe and Colin have been with the station for a few seasons now, believing in what we do, and we broadcast live every Friday from their offices right here on Main Street, Manayunk. You'll see us if you haven't already. We're out there yelling at each other. Last year was unbelievable. We had great weather, and of course, the Phillies went on a little bit of a run. You might have heard last season as well.
They're all right.
They're doing well as right now too. As well, the night off. That's good for them.
On the road for us.
On the road to St. Louis. Hopefully,
so I don't have to pretend to watch the Phillies.
Hopefully, the Phils dressed in those overalls and had a couple bottles of tequila on the flight. Get that Atlanta Braves taste out of their mouth. Some statesides too as well.
Probably some stateside.
All right, here's the deal. If you're listening to us on the air right now, Manayunk is the place to be. We are on Cotton Street. The road is blocked off right outside McGillicuddy's, right off of Main Street in Manayunk. You can't miss us. Music's going to pick right back up. We got some giveaways, Wrestlemania tickets, some Eagles gear to give away, all that and more. Once again, can't thank everybody enough for making this happen. Give Us a Shot Network. I'm Sean Brace for John Jansen. Everybody enjoy the game. Go Birds!
Go Birds!
All right, and good luck on all your plays. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
Football is back in full swing with another week of epic games. And who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? Well, that's DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers, listen up. You can bet $5 on